wakabata ramba uchipula ngoma change ratio nepenyu revanhu ndokwatinodzidzwa nhau dzacho kuchiridzwa mimanzi yacho DJ Proof ndati wedzere mawatsi DJ Proof vaudze munhu wese kundovhota ngapinde mukomana ngapinde chamisa uyo achinge apinda corruption ichapera. We need to change, we want to grow, new Zimbabwe, new beginning. Change ratio nepenyu revanhu ndokwatinodzidzwa nhau dzacho kuchiridzwa mimanzi yacho DJ Proof ndati wedzera mawatsi vari kufamba vachitaura change ratio tenema vanoshambadza zvekuyepa vanenge vachiisa kufumurwa upenyu hwakanaka tese tinohuda nyika yedu yakazara uchine mukaka ngatipeiwe chidiki uyungana ramangwana redu kuti rive rakajeka. Change ratio nepenyu revanhu ndokwatinodzidzwa nhau dzacho kuchiridzwa mimanzi yacho DJ.
Regai titange nokuti makadini mativi mana kungave kwese kwese kwamuri tiri kusangana zvakadai zvakare paChange Radio nhasi uno musi wesvondo nenguva dzimwe chetedzo dzatinosangana musi wesvondo wega wega tichikupai zvakasiyana siyana zviri kuitika munyika yeZimbabwe nezviri kuitikawo zvakare kunze kwenyika kunyanya nhau dziri kuitika muZimbabwe kuti vanhu munzwe. Tinokupai nhau dzakatsetseka dzisina kudhailutwa live paChange Radio nepfenyuro yenyu sezvamanzwa zvitaurwa. Asi ndisati ndapedza nguva yanhasi unoyu regai ndiite welcome magesti anenge ndichifamba nawo nhasi unoyu. Ndiri kufamba naMukanya Chief Soswe pamwe chete nevamwe vakati kuti vari panapa asika muchange muchivaziva nekufamba kwenguva. Regai ndivape mukana wekuzvizivisa kuvateereri nevatariri vedu paChange Radio Zimbabwe nhasi uno. Chief, maswera sei?
DJ Prof, thank you very much. Let me also welcome everyone. Welcome our viewers and listeners across the world. Thank you very much for the great job that you continue to do as Zimbabwean citizens, but of course, above all, of following the People's Radio Station, Change Radio. Please do share this video with as many people as possible so that we can have a discussion. And of course, Tawigira Komano is new to the program. Tanaka, he will introduce himself and tell you about himself, where he has come from. I know that he was part of Zinasri at one time, but he will tell you, because we want this program to represent the interest of everyone, women, youth, and of course, Madara Sesu. So Tanaka will be representing the youth, and I hope he will recruit more youth to come to this program so that it has that youthful approach. Tanaka, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Chief, and thank you very much, DJ Prof. Let me take this time to introduce myself. My name is Tanaka, like what Chief said. I'm from Mutoko, is my raw area, but mainly in Harare, from Zimri Park. I went to the University of Zimbabwe. I was a strong Zinasu cadre there, and a stone thrower as well. And then from then, I came to the United States of America, where I'm currently doing my master's in applied data science. Clarkson University is in New York, and I'm happy to be part of this team and part of the Change Radio, where we want to spread the information as much as we can. The information should reach everyone, and we should also be on the ground for everyone, from the urban areas to the rural areas. So I'm very energetic, as young as I am, and I would also want to see Change Radio taking shape and transforming the people's lives, giving people news, current situation, the authentic news as well, not the one that you are getting from ZBC. That one is not authentic. So you want Change Radio to take place and yoendesa message kuvanhu and vanhu ndo vatoshandira. So I'm here for that and I'm happy to be part of the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that length and well presented introduction, Tanaka. I hope people will be with you. Welcome to Change Radio, and this is the platform where people interact and bring their views to everyone. So nhasi unoyu tichange tichikupai zvanambotaura kuti tichange tichikupai zviri kuitika munyika yezimbabwe. Regai titange nenyaya a former MP wedu. Basically he was a candidate in 2018 elections, and it's on a said note kuti havasi kunzwa zvakanaka, and we are trying kuti tikwanise kuti tivabetsere sevana vezimbabwe. Obviously Change Radio is a mouthpiece to tell you more in details about how and how can we help our cadre, and he is one of us, a fighter for democracy, an activist, a person who wants to see Zimbabwe doing well. And I think in the when we are speaking now, you're gonna hear kuti vari kubatikana nechii zvinova zvimwe zvatinogara tichitaura kuti muzimbabwe health system has collapsed. Some of the things we can manage, but because the government through its proxies and other other people or other praise singers vanoita kuti health system yedu itadzike zvakanaka. I think Chief, you can kickstart on that one, and then we can go to Tanaka for comments, and then come back to me. Thank you. Chief, are you there? Okay. So
Hello,
yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you now, Chief.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, so while we're waiting for Chief to be able to connect here, just in short, I'm going to speak. I don't have the details about the comrade who is not feeling well. As you can see, he is on a sick bed there. Some of you hear the story. Those one who are following on X, there are stories that have popped out already. Chief, are you back?
I am back. People want to call me when I'm about to say something important.
Yeah, no, that's always it's always happened in that way. The whole day they were not calling; they only call at that time.
Yes, yes. And that
Exactly.
phone,
So
I don't normally use it. I only use it for, for work and for this kind of broadcast. Anyway,
Sure, you can come through, Chief.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So that's the said picture of Dr. Garkai Gorejena, one of our cadres from Mashonaland West. He ran as member of parliament for Mangura, a strong cadre who has never sold out, I must say, but someone who has been in the struggle for the longest time. I stayed in Mashonaland West myself in Chinoy, so I also happen to know him. And he, got cancer a few months ago, and he was trying to text me and talk to me, and I feel bad that I didn't call him because he first texted me on the 2nd of January. It was a Thursday. Hi, Chief Shoshe. My name is Dr. Gargai Gorejena, Shadow MP for Mangura. Of course, I knew him already. Maybe he was just not sure whether I knew him. And but he didn't say he was sick, you know. And then he said he wanted to talk to me. Nditese kumsangano, ndoda kutaura nemi. And then I told him, sure, you can call Mamunga, because I replied late. And then he said, okay, Chief Shoshe. And then on January 7, he said, hi, boss, the bad flu, so voice was bad, my brother. That's why I didn't call you. Hope you are fine on your side. I think he thought I knew already that he was not feeling well. Then yesterday, that's when he sent me these pictures. And then he just said, the Ripama 1, Chief Shoshe. And I had also seen that there was a fundraiser that had been started that was on Wopo Chingono's Twitter. I know some people may not agree with him, but this is someone who belongs to us. And what I can say is, if you can help, please jump onto the link that is going to be posted there and donate whatever you can, whether it's $10 or $20. The man went to Namibia at one time using his own resources, and he got some treatment there, but it didn't work out because he was supposed to be going back to Namibia, back and forth, and his resources ended up running out. So now he is in Zimbabwe, and he has nothing. He has exhausted all the resources that he had. So, folks, Zimbabweans, anyone touched, please just help. Go on the GoFundMe and donate whatever you can so that we can help our fellow champion.
The link is there in the comments for those who would like to donate to Dr. Garikai. The link is in the comment section, and it is the same link which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. For those who are on X, you might not get the link in comments, so you can pick it from the screen. It is scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Wow. No, thank you so much, the IT department, for doing that wonderful work. And I think the people who are listening, you can also urge a friend to support our lovely, citizen, our dear citizen, a change fighter that I think he can get treated. And I think if we give whatever we can give, we'll be able even to to seek medical care somewhere where we know that he can be treated well. And I must say I'm happy, so Chief, because I also followed the tweet from the ex from Hopo Chingona, and I saw some of the MPs there commenting to say really we need to support. I must say kudos to Honorable Joanna Mamombe. I saw that, and I think she must also be able to take the initiative around the MPs who can just donate whatever they can. And I think we also will reach to some of those member of parliament, because majority of them knows Dr. Garikai. So we'll try to do that. Tanaka, do you have a comment on that, my brother?
Yes. I have a comment on that.
Thank you.
Good. So yeah, it's do you hear me?
Come through, bro. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So it is very sad to see one of our comrades, one of our leaders in the struggle, going through such hard times. Not because they really want this, but it is because of the corrupt rule of ZANU-PF, the regime in Harare. Those people, they have failed to maintain our health facilities, only because they don't get those services in here, but they have a capacity to go out and get those services from the Western countries and from other countries, but they have failed to maintain them so that they benefit our citizens. They are only good at giving away freebies in the form of cash. But if you check at the money that they're spending to those free bills, they could have maintained these health facilities. I mean, you can check and you can look at that picture of our comrade lying on the bed. You can see that health sector is not even good at all. So it's something that really touched us as the young generation. It's something that is so sad to see our comrade lying on that bed. And for sure, you see that he's very worried, not because of his health, but because of the system, of the entire system. And one of our comrades, actually, like you said, he was in the struggle for a long time. He fought for the regime change, not for him only, but for the future generations. So I think it's time for us as the younger generation to reflect by looking at that picture, looking at the health facility and everything, to say if we cannot make a plan right now to change the government and input the alternative led by his advocate Nelson Chamisa, is the only way to go. Because with ZANU-PF, there is no way we go. Imagine this comrade, he fought, he worked for the people, but he's now suffering the bed. There is nothing in the hospital. But for us, imagine ndikarwara nhasi oro mangwana, handina basa, handina chi, handina pension, handina health insurance. They have killed all the health insurance pensions, you know, the IPMs, SMS, those things, they destroyed. So it really touched me. Saka, with this, with my level of political consciousness, it has to tell me something is wrong. And what's that? ZANU-PF and their guys, it has to go. So this only, it's really sad. And I'm appealing to the members of the whole world, in fact, and including those from Zimbabwe, abroad, and everything. Please, let's donate towards our elder. We really need him. We can't be comrades when it comes to elections, but we also need to show unity during this time of hardships. He is one of us. So let's help him, because his family, for now, vanenge vachitobadinetsikana vachitarisirawo kwatiri kuti ko vamwe vake vemustruggle vari kupi vangaitei. You see?
Yes.
And even if you check those people on Twitter, on X, they'll be looking at us kuti toda kuonawo kuti vachaita sei, because someone anenge achitosvikawo kupinda mustruggle achisvika kuti ndikarwara hakuna anondibatsira. But if they see us helping these comrades, at least someone will be motivated to say, even if I might face a challenge, these people can be here for me. But also I'm appealing to the young generation to say, this is the best time to reflect on our future. They reflect on the future of our kids as well. To say, mwana wangu akarwara mangwana, is he or she going to get a good health condition from that? But well, with that, let's donate so that our comrade will be in good shape. We still need him. Our change. So yeah, those are my words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tanaka, for the words of encouragement to the people. I think it's a word to general citizens, you know, all the citizens in Zimbabwe. I think for everyone who happens to care, you see, I'm sure you know that cancer just need chemo, and the comrade can be well. So let's donate. Let's help the comrade to find the proper medical, so that he can push the change that we want. We can push and see Zimbabwe that we want under the able leadership of Advocate Nelson Chamisa. And actually, that takes me to the second topic that we are going to look at. As Zimbabweans are still pinning their hopes on the leadership of Advocate Nelson Chamisa to take us to the next level, to take Zimbabwe out of the quagmire that we were put with the regime government of Emerson Mnangagwa. Across the country, a lot of things are happening, to just people to show that they are obviously prepare, or they still have hope on the leadership of Advocate Nelson Chamisa, regardless of him not resigning from Triple C. But they are saying, even if Advocate Nelson Chamisa come with a political party or come with a movement, whichever name, as long as Advocate Nelson Chamisa is the leader, we are going to follow. Can you comment on that, Tanaka, before we go to Chief? There are a lot of things that have been happening in Zimbabwe, people showing, the resilience, and people showing that their hope is pinned on Advocate Nelson Chamisa. What can you say about that? I think you are on mute, Tanaka.
Okay. All right. Sorry. You hear me now?
Yes, okay. You can go through that.
So I think the citizens' view will never be wrong at any time, because the right leadership, the right political party lies within the people's heart. Those are the main stakeholders. Those are the people, the church bearers of whatever you might define as leadership, because leadership comes from the people. So looking at Emerson Mnangagwa, he is not at the center of the people. The only alternative to that is the President Advocate Nelson Chamisa, and the only person that can take us through from this shambolic act of ZANU-PF and their comrades around Africa or whatever. So citizens are very loyal to Advocate Nelson Chamisa, as you have witnessed in 2018 elections and 2023 elections. Because loyalty, when it comes to leadership and the citizens, it only be seen during the ballot box. That's where we see the loyalty of the citizens. So looking at the start statement to say Advocate Nelson Chamisa is the only person that can take us through. And we really need to assure that the citizens, they are well guided and they are not misguided by the ZANU-PF hooligans, because those people will try by all means to pollute the mindset of our citizens. So citizens, what they need right now, they need assurance and they need proper leadership. They know who their leader is, but they just need that assurance to say, we are moving from this way, we are going to Canaan. And the only way, and one good leader to that way, is Advocate Nelson Chamisa. There is no doubt with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chief, come through.
Yes, like Tanaka said, the people know their leaders, and the leaders come from people. And one thing that I've observed about Zimbabweans is they are a loyal people. They have placed their hopes and they are loyal in Advocate Nelson Chamisa. And he still has the votes of millions of Zimbabweans. We, as Change Radio, we did a poll. We have started doing polls. We now have a department that is doing polls. So we did a poll. One of the first polls that we did was to ask the people of Zimbabwe whom they think is best to lead the alternative, or of course, the democratic alternative. And we put a number of people there, a number of leaders, including some of the well-known people in our political history and political arena. Tendai BT, Welsh Mingure, Job Scala, Fadzai Mahere. I think there were about 10 leaders there. We also included some people from ZANU-PF. Emerson Mnangagwa was there. The General Chiwenga was also there. And if you saw that poll, it showed you that Advocate Nelson Chamisa still leads by far. I think he was leading by 90%, about 85%. So it means the rest of the people that I spoke about shared the 15%. So that tells you that the people still have belief, still have hope in Advocate Chamisa. And that's what I have known Zimbabweans to be. They place their loyalty on an individual. It's not the best thing to do, but in the situation that we are in Zimbabwe, that's something that helps to keep the struggle going. Our struggle is always interfered with by ZANU-PF. You saw what they usually do, what they always do. They impose people. They try to create their own opposition. It's Russian style or Chinese style. If you want a good opposition in a country, if you are a ruling party, create your own opposition. And that's what ZANU-PF has been trying to do. They've, used money to buy people, to buy leaders, they dangle trinkets, they dangle opportunities, they give people farms, they give people money, they offer, cars, Zimbabweans are suckers for cars. If someone is given a car, they can sell out the whole country. That's that's the kind of people that we are. We just love cars. I don't know what it is with us Zimbabweans. Someone can sell the struggle because he or she has been offered a vehicle. And I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm talking about Zimbabweans here. And I'm talking about ZANU-PF trying to create an opposition of its own and also trying to create leaders of opposition. Now we have Shabangu masquerading as a leader of opposition. You know, that's ridiculous. But I'm glad that the people of Zimbabwe know. They know their leaders. These people can do whatever they can. Shabangu can do whatever he's doing, but nobody will ever recognize him as a leader. In fact, after his term is finished, he is going to where people like him belong, where sellouts like him belong, where Baba Beta is now, where Monzora is now. That's where Shabangu is going to go, where other people that have sold out before, that's where he is going to go. So again, I repeat, the people of Zimbabwe know their leaders and they have kept their faith in Advocate Nelson Chamisa, and we await to see the next step, and it's coming. And I know people may say, why hasn't it come? It shouldn't be too late. He should not leave it until it is too late for him to come back with the new. It has to happen, and it has to happen now. So that there is time to prepare, there is time to fight for reforms, because there's no point in going to another election if we don't fight for the reforms. So we cannot wait until 2027, we cannot wait until 2028, and then we say we are going to, fight for in an election. That cannot happen. And I know that Advocate Nelson Chamisa is aware of that. So that new has to come, and it has to come as soon as possible, but strategically, so that it is also not affected the way we have been affected as MDC Alliance, and recently as Triple C. So we continue to wait, and let's not just wait. He has spoken in a number of times in Masvingo, Kunyaradzo, where there was a big function there, and he told people, let's work where we are, let's revitalize the base, let's do something, and you can do something. Change Radio is already doing something. We are keeping you informed about what is happening, and we are keeping the base energized by the news that we give every day, by these discussions that we have. We are playing our part. So there is always something that you can do. If you can't do a program like what everyone else is doing, then support Change Radio. Make a donation right now. Follow Change Radio. Share the news that Change Radio is producing every day. I know specifically that the people in the diaspora may not listen to Change Radio news every day, but I know that most people do. But if you can't listen because you have a lot of sources of news, just do a good thing. Share that news with someone in Zimbabwe. Share the news in your community group. Share the news in your family group. Sharing is part of activism. It's part of the struggle. So let's do that. Like Advocate Nelson Chamisa said, let's find something to do as we prepare for the new.
Wow, that's great. What a mouthful word of encouragement from Mambo Soshe there. Thank you so much, Chief, for that. Indeed, I get your point, and I know sometimes we tend to speak with emotions because this situation where we are now, it's emotional situation, and I like the fact that you reminded the people that it's a matter of time that Shabangu is going to to go where he belongs, and obviously where he belongs everyone knows where you gave an example of where Baba Betha is. I can add more where Komichi is right now, where what's his name from Masvingo is now, where all the people that have sold out, the likes of Mudzuri, where they are sold out, and we know other comrades who were fight or struggle, they end up, dying in ZANU-PF. I hope God will forgive them in heaven. The likes of Mama Timvias, you die in while you are against the people of God, which is not. And obviously, it's because you pretended to God that you are going to save his people. Then at the later stage, you sold out. God to uproot you from his from his people. It's biblical. Everything. If you go back to the Bible, those people who wanted to go against the people in the Bible, God take them away from earth. That leads me to the next topic. We are going to speak about what is actually the ZANU-PF goons, the praise singers that I spoke about earlier on. They are talking about the constitutional coup, the constitutional provision. They want to amend the constitution to extend, the time of the president, the term of the president. However, people can go around and debate, and I heard one of the academic guru in Zimbabwe, Professor Maduku, saying that no, people must not continue, asking Mnangagwa why they want the constitution to do this, but because people knows why they are still targeting Mnangagwa on this one, even though he said that he's a constitutionalist, he's not going to extend his term of office. People know the caliber of the ZANU-PF leadership. Mugabe was the same. We end up spending 37 years in power while he's talking that he is not going to extend his term. He's going to give another person up until he was, we know what happened on November 17, 2017. That's what we all know, we all witnessed. So now there is another attempt that is brewing, and it's in the pipeline. We saw the likes of Energy Mtodi, the ZANU-PF MP, and one Papoti Shabangu, follower by the name Moyo, putting a note on public to say they are going to raise a motion in parliament for that. So I just want, I'll come back to you, Chief, again to comment on this one before I go to Tanaka, to say, can you just have a comment on that? In that comment, I know you are not from a legal background, but just give, is it possible legally what they are trying to do, in this trying to change the presidential term limit, actually trying to remove the clause in the constitution that speak about the term limit of the presidential the president.
It's I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, I
Just like
said
I'm
that.
not just like I'm not a journalist.
Mm,
But the world is evolving.
yeah.
Now we have everyone becoming a journalist
Mm,
because you have your iPhone, you have your Android. You can capture any situation, and
mm,
before you know it, you have views that are more than Herald itself because of the news that you have posted. So we
yeah.
are in a new era right now, and I'm also like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a lawyer in the streets. I'm a lawyer because of where I grew up. I'm a ghetto boy, and I'm an activist. So I tend to analyze things, and I see things the way I see them. And to
Mm,
answer your question, in the way we do it in the streets, it can't. It's impossible. What ZANU-PF is trying to do, is very, very impossible. We cannot allow it to happen, even if they want, even if there may be legal channels for that. But as the people of Zimbabwe, we say no to that. Why? What reason would we even have people voting for an extension of the term? Because we know
mm,
that after they go to parliament, I'll come back to parliament. When they come when they come from the parliament, they are going to go to the people, because that is
mm,
what the constitution says. They have to do at least 2 referendums, and it's a yes or no. In my lifetime, we've gone through that constitutional vote. I'm sure the DJ Prof, you were old enough. I don't know if you were old enough to vote. The no yes vote that we had under the leadership of Dr. Richard Morgan Tsvangirai when we
I was
defeated
able to.
ZANU-PF. We handed ZANU-PF their first ever defeat, and they could not believe it. And that's exactly what is coming again right now. The people of Zimbabwe are going to speak out. They might try, we know that they will try to rig that referendum the same way that they've rigged other polls before. But I can tell you the duty, the work that we have to do as Zimbabweans right now is to educate Zimbabweans, spread the information, let the people of Zimbabwe know what is coming, let the people of Zimbabwe know what they have to do. Let's not just go on spaces, let's not go on Facebook, let's not go on YouTube and just complain and talk about each other, especially fighting each other. You're seeing a lot of spaces right now. People are busy fighting each other instead of fighting ZANU-PF. We are investing a lot of time, a lot of energy into fighting each other instead of fighting the real enemy. I'm not saying Shabangu is the real enemy, but there's no way we can invest so much in fighting Shabangu instead of fighting the person who is standing behind the people's freedom, and that is ZANU-PF. And just that, DJ Prof, is exactly what ZANU-PF wants. ZANU-PF has us where they want us to be. They are holding us where they want us, where they are holding us, and it's not a good place. They've found a way of setting us up against each other, of setting us up against lesser evils, lesser devils, instead of fighting the real devil, the real elephant that is in the house, which is ZANU-PF. Now we are busy fighting each other, and ZANU-PF is sitting out there at the very top of the mountain, and they are looking at us and probably laughing at us because nobody is right now is fighting ZANU-PF. We are doing what we call internal fights, and that's not health for our struggle. That's not what we should be doing. We should be fighting ZANU-PF right now. So right now, we should have people doing work about this third term call. Let's have people doing something meaningful, whether you are in Zimbabwe or outside Zimbabwe. There is something that you can do. Personally, I believe in political education. The biggest fight that we have right now is the fight for information, the fight to disseminate information, the fight to give Zimbabweans the right information that will make them make informed decisions. Because ZANU-PF is busy with propaganda right now. Propaganda simply means spreading wrong information, information that is not truthful. And they have the apparatus to spread that information. They have dead BC or ZBC, if you want to call it. They have ZTV, dead television in Zimbabwe. And they have the Herald, they have the money, they have the resources to do that. So using all those channels, they can spread wrong information. So our fight begins with giving people the right information. And this is something that we can do because we know that we can't get in the streets and demonstrate because people get killed, and we Zimbabweans are afraid, so much afraid that we can't get in the streets and risk being killed. Of course, people get killed everywhere. People are getting killed in Mozambique, but they still get in the streets. I don't want to dwell on that. We don't get in the streets because we believe we'll be killed, and we're not doing that. But there's something that we can do. There is a lot that we can do if we can't get in the streets. Let's come together and build our platforms that give people information. Change Radio is one of them, and all those other platforms that are there that we can use to channel to give people information. If you don't want to be part of Change Radio, it's fine. Start something else. Do your own thing, and just make sure that you're getting information to the people of Zimbabwe. Let's get flyers out there. Let's have people making flyers. Let's get people making posters. Let's have people doing videos and spreading them out, talking about declaring war against the 2030 mantra. Look at the way ZANU-PF is fighting. Look at the way they're organized. Sometimes you gotta marvel the way they do their things, the way they've started, and the way they're gathering people around that mantra. They're putting efforts into something that they want. Why can't we counter that as Zimbabweans by organizing ourselves in such a manner that we are able to do better than them? Because right now, I'm telling you, they're busy telling people that Mnangagwa has a lot of unfinished job. And he has to finish. He will need 2 more years for him to be able to make the country better. That's what they're telling the people. Foolish, stupid as it sounds, But if it keeps, that information keeps being told to the people keep getting that information in their ears every day. It's psychological. They end up believing it. That's how information works. It's a war of information. Here in the United States of America, the elections here are won on social media. They are won in the various medias that are here. And a president can be made a president by the media, and the president can be removed from his presidents by the media. That's the power of the media that we have access to. We cannot blame ZANU-PF on our inefficiencies when it comes to doing what we can do with media. We can't blame anyone. We can blame ZANU-PF that we can't get in the streets and demonstrate, but we can't blame ZANU-PF, especially now, because we have social media, because there's a lot that we can do, outside getting in the streets. This is something that we can do on our own. Educate the people, tell them that there's nothing more that Emmerson Mnangagwa needs to do. He doesn't need the 3 years or the 2 years that he wants extra because he has already failed. What more years does he want? More years to loot, more years to steal, more years to inflict human rights abuses on the innocent people of Zimbabwe, more years to arbitrarily arrest people that criticize him, more years to destroy Zimbabwe's economy, more years to get his son next to the throne, because we all know that that's where it's heading. If he's not going to, he can't do a 3rd term, per se, but he can buy time so that he can get his son or his cousin or his young brother to closer to where the power is. And when he leaves, the son takes over. It's all there. It's all obvious. And we are all seeing it. So we need to fight this as citizens. You don't need to have a leadership. You don't need to have a leader for you to be able to do that. I'm doing what I'm doing right now, not because there's someone out there who is telling me to do it, or a political party that has forced me to do it, or that is pushing me to do it. You can do it on your own. The biggest problem that we have had as Zimbabweans is we want a leader. We want a liberator. We want someone to come and liberate us. But President Chamisa is not a liberator. Tendai Biti is not a liberator. That's the truth that I'm telling you right now, those who are listening. Welshman Mue is no liberator. Job Scholar, anyone, you can take anyone from, even from Mars, even if you take Joe Biden, you take Obama, you can wake up Nelson Mandela and you put him in Zimbabwe, and you tell me that he's going to liberate you. He is not going to liberate you, because we do not have liberators. Liberators do not exist. The people liberate themselves. So do not put all your hopes, in certain individuals. Let's put our hopes in ourselves. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's believe that we can liberate ourselves by the works that we do. Right. Sorry, I get. Anyway, let me go back to the issue of Parliament. People may think that it's going to be easy for ZANU-PF to go through Parliament and bribe everyone there, and then push that constitutional amendment or change. I don't think so. I beg to differ there. I know There are good people in parliament. People don't want to hear this. There are good people in parliament there. There are members of parliament that sincerely do not prescribe to what is going on. But yes, they are there in parliament. I know everyone will be saying, oh, they should have gotten out. They should have gotten out. Yes, they should have gotten out the first day everything happened and everyone else remained there. The decision was made by the party, not by an individual. I know that for a fact, the decision was made that they should stay there. Remember, they at one time they said they're going to, distance away from parliament business for 20 days, and then they came back and they remained in there. So we still have a good number of members of parliament that sincerely believe in the leadership of Advocate Nelson Chamisa, that are going to be there, that I know for sure, because I know them. I speak to some of them. I know they're never going to vote for that amendment. And I also know that there are some members of parliament in ZANU-PF itself that do not believe in the third term mantra, especially those that belong to the faction of the general, the vice president, so-called vice president. So it's not going to be a smooth sell. So I'm saying this so that I give hope to the people. Because if we just say, oh, those parliamentarians, all of them were bought. Yes, there are some that are receiving cars right now. There are some that are getting money right now. But I can tell you that not all of them are going to vote for that. And the reason why I'm saying this is to leave us with hope that we can fight this. We have another day to fight. We can do what we can right now. And complemented by those numbers that we have in parliament, I don't see DJ Prof, the question that you asked, this becoming an easy thing for ZANU-PF, especially if the people of Zimbabwe rise, if the people of Zimbabwe do what they do. We should be making noise everywhere, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, in the streets of Harare, everywhere where we can be, so that we spread the information, good information, to the people of Zimbabwe.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Chief. Indeed, we are the liberators of ourselves. We are the liberators of our generation, and that must be seen by what we do wherever we are. Chief is, challenged us to be either on the street, either on Twitter, which is X, or on Facebook, whether on wherever you are. Can you show that you are the change champion? You can liberate Zimbabwe, not with waiting for any leader to tell you what to do. You can be an activist. That's the name activist mean. You can act wherever you are in the world, so that Zimbabwe can be where everyone wants it to be. Tanaka, do you have any comment on that one before we go to the next topic? So before you comment, Tanaka, I just want to urge, for those ones who are in different platforms, our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, you can comment, give us your views wherever you are, tell us what you think, so that we can also debrief after this session. Then we can see what are people and what are the citizens think about these topics that we are talking about, or about Change Radio itself. But don't forget again to subscribe to our channels. All the channels, we have got X channel, we've got TikTok channel, we've got YouTube channel, and also the Facebook channel. So don't forget to subscribe to those platforms, so that wherever we come with hope, with news, because Change Radio is 24/7, 366 days a year. We are here at Tombodzo Retrimbo. Tanaka, do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, thank you very much, DJ Professor. I think it is very sad to hear that some of the Zimbabweans really believed what Emerson said when he said, I don't want the third time. I never believed those lies.
Okay.
Because he is a liar. He lied that I'm a constitutionalist. Number one, a constitutionalist will never get to power through coup.
Yeah.
If I'm correct with my definition of a constitutionalist. Number two, if you're looking at his leadership, Emerson Mnangagwa's leadership was born out of stolen elections.
Yeah.
He stole the 2018 elections. He stole the 2023 elections. He's not a constitutionalist on that. Let's agree on that. Number three, he promised people that there will be free education. We all know about this. Where is it now? There is no free education. He promised people that there will be, he's going to create million jobs. Where are they? He's busy keeping people from the colleges, thousands of graduates from the colleges. But to tell you the truth, only 0.5% of those people that he kept since he got in power are employed. He promised people that you are going to have Magetsi Kumusha. Where are they right now? The money that they stole from the project that was supposed to be powering Magetsi to the Zimbabwe is the money that they are now using to buy cars so that they can secure their election campaign come 2030. They know this. So there is no way we are going to believe whatever is going to be said by a ZANU-PF leader in the form of Nangaga. No, those are lies. Sure. He is not a constitutionalist, number one. Number two, he got the mandate from the people. His people, I don't know which people, maybe Zeki people, yes, to lead the nation. And he's saying, I have unfinished business, I have unfinished project. Which projects is he talking about? We don't know those projects. I mean, you can tell
roundabout.
You can't tell us that thing is an unfit. Honestly, Zimbabwe are being taken like, we are being scammed. So this supports what Chief Soso was saying, to say we really need to liberate ourselves.
Yes.
If we can't take action right now, who's going to take that action? And the only action is not just the streets. Sharing of information, conscientize everyone. Because you see a graduate person still supporting ZANU-PF, and that person doesn't have a job. It's really worrisome. You see the state of our hospitals, the state of our roads. There is nothing these guys are doing. They are just doing it to push their own agendas to stay in power. He got in power in 2018. We didn't see those projects. Which project has he failed to do in 2018 that he wants to do in 2030? He started the 2020 month and now it's 2030. What is he planning to do? If he is a constitutionalist, if he feels like he's doing well, why can't we allow the election to go on? If people really love him, they are going to vote him back into the office so that he can finish whatever he wants to. What's the point of amending the constitution? Let's go to the elections. People are going to decide whether they like him or not. And for sure, they don't like him. We have seen that in the past. So that issue of saying he wants to go for the third term is totally against the constitution. And to that, I can say he is lying that he's a constitutionalist. And never, ever believe his statement to say, I don't want the third term. He really wants it, because if he really wanted to stay off the power, like to the end of his time, he should have stopped whatever the nonsense that is happening in ZANU-PF. He's the leader of that party. He's the father. So you, as a father of the family, if you don't want maybe your kids to be married, how can you allow someone saying this thing should happen? If you don't want that, you can put a line and say, no, I don't want this in my house. So if you see this thing, like they're just testing you to see the reaction. But to tell you the truth, people are the ones who are going to define, are the ones who are going to decide on this issue. They might have positive results during the parliament or so forth. But I tell you this, the vote of yes or no is going to humble them. And it's very impossible for them to secure that third term. What is it that they want to do? They have to give us, because they cannot say he's doing well by building the roads. That's why he's the leader. And also, there is something called handover and takeover. Whoever is going to take that power from him can also continue those projects if they really exist.
You get
my point?
Perfect. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Let's give an example. American elections. You cannot say Biden will say, I have a road that I want to construct. I mean, come on. And to say, I want another term because I want to finish. No. Are you trying to say whenever they do handover and take over, Trump is not going to take those projects ahead?
I see it. I see it.
So generally, I don't support that 2030 agenda. 1, 2. I don't believe that Mnangagwa doesn't want that thing. He really wants that thing, for sure, because he wants to protect his looting cabal. He's the leader of those
Yes.
cabals. So the only way
Yeah,
he
no,
can do that
definitely.
is secure
Definitely.
for 2030. But like Chief said, we the younger generation, we the poor citizens, we are the ones who are going to suffer from all these shenanigans that are being done by the ZNPF. What's the point? The plan is, let's take action. Let's educate one another. Someone said, if you don't do politics, politics will do you in one way or another. So I think the only way we can do about this is to take action as the citizens. Let's share information. This Gen Z generation can do whatever they can using social media, like what Chief said. Let's disseminate information from one point to another. I mean, Munwesar over 18 now is owing, it's either an Android or an iPhone, like what Chief said. Let's use those opportunities to send our message clear so that people would really know what the real agenda is. And people should understand the power of propaganda. I can tell people lies, but if you don't come and dilute those lies, people believe those lies as true.
Yeah.
Because someone in Lotito can really believe that Emerson is doing well by just painting a road. What's that? And then that person will still come to you and say, I want the 2030 agenda. No, that's not it. If he's really sure for the people, that guy should step down and allow other leaders to lead. That's a fact. So my comment is never ever believe those lies. And also that thing of 2030 is not going to come out positive because the citizens, they don't really like that guy. They hate him. They know who their leader is. And the only leader who can take us forward is Advocate Nelson Chamisa. There is no doubt with that. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. When you are discussing very important things like this, that's when the time started running as if it was never in before.
Prof, I know
Chief,
you. Just one more thing. I know time is running out, but this was our main story for discussion. Maybe Shera also wants to say something in the background.
yeah. So I still have two more. So I just wanted to speak of, giving the people information straightforward. We need to just try to shorten our commentary, and then we can close. But you can go ahead, Chief, with the important information you have.
Right. So a lot of people don't see it this way, but we as Zimbabweans have been given opportunities to rise, opportunities to put ZANU-PF in its place, and I think this is one good opportunity where we can come together as Zimbabweans. It's an opportunity to reorganize. It's an opportunity to reach out to each other. There's I see this is something that can bring together Zimbabweans. Because if we are not united, we can never win against Zimbabwe, against ZANU-PF. Because that's what a dictator does. They do what they call divide and rule. Divide and rule simply means they make you divided. Because when you are divided, you can't fight a winning war. You can't fight and win because you are divided. Because first of all, you have to fight each other. And then maybe after you are bruised and you've gotten tired, then you go and face ZANU-PF. You can't face ZANU-PF when you are bruised and tired. ZANU-PF needs us fresh, needs us brave, needs us together. ZANU-PF needs us united. We have to find a way of uniting, assembling all the forces together. Don't get me wrong when I say unity, because I know people, especially us people in the diaspora, we are very quick to say, oh, Chief wants us to people to unite. Oh, he wants Shabangu, he wants so and so. You start putting names. Don't put words in my mouth. When I'm saying unity, I'm talking unity of purpose, unity of forces that matter. We have civic society in Zimbabwe, which has always played a very big role, but has always largely been overlooked when it comes to the bigger grand scheme of things. But civic society has played a big role in our struggle for democracy in Zimbabwe from the beginning, from the time that we started in 1998, 1999, even before that, it was civic society. Before, prior to 1999, it was civic society and work organizations like ZCTU and many of the workers' unions that we had that were vibrant in the 80s. Those were the ones that were pushing the people's agenda, fighting for people's rights, fighting on the side of people. So we are saying, let's bring back all those forces. Let's bring back the workers' unions that are still there, that are fighting, really fighting for the people. You look at organizations like ATUS, that are teachers' organization for rural teachers. They've done very well, and other civic society organizations that are out there. They are there. We just need to bring them together. We have students. They played a big role in our struggle. The early stages of our struggle, it was students that were leading our struggle. Let's bring them together. Let's mold them. Let's bring all those people together. Let's marshal them and make sure they are ready to fight against 2030. And then we also have genuine political leaders that are out there. Let's bring them in the fold. Let's come together and bring and build a platform, a credible platform to fight this. It might look like a small fight, but imagine if we do that, if we build that platform, and we fight ZANU-PF, and we fight 2030, and we win 2030, it will catapult us into something bigger. We might even be able to do the unthinkable, that we can even remove ZANU-PF even before 2028. Because imagine the destruction and the embarrassment and the loss that it brings to the enemy. If we defeat Emerson Mnangagwa and his goons, we defeat ZANU-PF in its quest for 2030. The referendum comes, we defeat them. Even in parliament, we do what we can. We speak to those that are there. We defeat them again. And 2030 dies. We kill 2030. We don't want ZANU-PF to claim that victory, or the other side of ZANU-PF to claim that victory, because they can do that. We are saying, let's come together as the democratic alternatives. Let's not just rush, get caught in the fight in ZANU-PF. And some people will be saying, oh, Chiwenga and these people, we don't want them, we don't need them. We are going to need them, but for now, let's build our own platform that is strong, that is credible. And then if Chiwenga's people are going to come, they will be coming to us at our own terms, not at their terms. But DJ Prof, this is an opportunity. Some people may see it as rubbish that is being pushed by ZANU-PF, but to me, I see it as God who is giving us an opportunity to take over power, and it is if we see it that way.
Wonderful. That's wonderful, Chief. I think very important message to give to people. Like I said, we are running against time now, but we are going to put this forward to the listeners and viewers around I just want the comment on the economic outlook in Zimbabwe now, and as far as Mnangagwa is trying to, wanting to push his term, and he is saying that he needs to finish something, the unfinished business that I'm sure majority of Zimbabwean does not know what is unfinished business that he need to finish, that he could not finish in his two term. Actually, he doesn't only have two term. He has got a two term and another year that he took over, from Mugabe in 2017. So what can he do now that he could not do in all the time that is happening? Anyway, the next topic we are talking about the economic situation in Zimbabwe, where now the retrenchings and closing of companies is happening in Zimbabwe. I think I just need quick comments on what needs to be done now. Let me start with Tanaka. What needs to be done now, Tanaka? Companies are closing in Zimbabwe, and a lot of I've heard even recently that the former ZANU-PF supermarkets, the former ZANU-PF guy owned supermarkets, they also closed in Zimbabwe. So what is really happening? Where are we going? Where are we heading? Just a quick comment on that, Tanaka.
Thank you very much, Prof. I think, supermarkets, all the companies, they are closing. It's very worrisome. They are closing only because of ZANU-PF. That's a fact. Because as the ruling party or as the leader of the government, you should create a conducive environment for businesses to operate. Imagine a supermarket like, okay, if you decide to close today, how many people are going to lose their jobs? Already we have the highest employment rate in the whole world is in Zimbabwe. All the graduates, they don't have jobs. And imagine your party or the so-called government is operating that country and you're saying we are doing well. No, you're not doing well because the companies are closing. You yourself, you cannot create jobs for the people. But now the companies are closing. It's very worrisome to that. And I think the only way to deal with this issue of employment and the companies to continue operating is to create a conducive environment. How do we create a conducive environment? We want a government that respects the rule of law. To be honest, there is no investor who would want to come and invest in Zimbabwe where there is no rule of law, where there is no respect for private property. You have seen recently what happened to that mine, right? So tell me, if you're an investor, would you want to go and invest in Zimbabwe under those conditions? Would you want to go and invest in Zimbabwe where they come out to you and praise Ziggy, but even they don't even know what a Ziggy is? Even Muzukuru Arukumusha doesn't even know what a Ziggy is because they've been fishing out US dollars to them. So honestly speaking, what has to be done is we need the right leadership, the right government. And the only way we can have that is when we put our hope together, when we unite as the citizens against this ZANU-PF. It's cowed ZANU-PF. Because in a talk to funge, fire is we have normalized the abnormality. So the only way we can do is to have an alternative government. The only leader that can lead that is Advocate Nelson Chamisa. He's the only one who is going to create the conducive environment for companies to operate, for companies to sustain in the business in Zimbabwe, so that our people, the suffering masses of our people, getting to get jobs. So imagine a peasant farmer or a peasant vendor is trying to send his or her child to the university, hoping that that person is going to get a job when he or she graduates. And then now with these current situations whereby the companies are closing, truly speaking, that parent is going to lose any hope that he has for education. They're going to say education is nonsense. If you ask someone to say, is education still a key to life in Zimbabwe? Those people say no. What's the real thing? Let's do drugs. Let's do Madiri. Truly speaking, you cannot have pension from Madiri. But we want the conducive environment for those companies to survive so that our people, our suffering masses of our people, can get jobs. Once they get jobs, at least they can sustain for their own lives. If everyone in Zimbabwe has a decent job, decent pension, there is no way we are going to do all these go funds. This is one of the results in Pachena that can tell us that ZANU-PF has failed us. The only way to deal with it is ZANU-PF must go. Then you have the right leadership that respect the rule of law, so that companies will continue operate, and that conducive environment can only be done by President Nelson Chamisa. That's my submission for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Chief, companies
Yeah.
are closing. Companies are closing in Zimbabwe, and there's a lot of retrenchment. People are losing their jobs. What's your comment on that?
That's one more reason why ZANU-PF doesn't deserve an extension or a second term, or even to be there now. They should go tomorrow because they've failed. I don't know, we can list the name of companies that have closed during the reign of Emerson Mnangagwa. There are hundreds of them. And the reason is simple. Emerson Mnangagwa, when he came, people were saying he's a businessman and he's going to improve Zimbabwe's economy. But they made a mistake, because we're telling them all the time that this man is not a businessman. He's a dealer. Mukomana wamadhiri ndo zvaanogona zvokuti ndipe 10%, ndipe 20%, oendesa gold kuchina opiwa 10%. MaRussians ouya oisa chimaini chavapo opiwa maprazi. Okay, when you farm, when you get the gold, when you get the diamonds, you give me 15%. You give my son's company another 15%. That's how he has gotten rich. That's how ZANU-PF even failed to do anything to him, because there was nothing really that was in his name. He didn't own a company. He didn't own anything. He was just getting the cutbacks, and you make a lot of money. You become a millionaire. Now he's the richest man in Zimbabwe, and he's one of the richest men in Africa. Not because he's in any kind of business. He's not like the business people that we know that he has done this. He owns this business. He doesn't own any business. Which business does Mnangagwa own? He doesn't own any business. And when the ratings come, he's number one. He's a billionaire. He's the richest person in Zimbabwe. And Zimbabweans are okay with that. We sit back and relax. Why can't we ask questions? Operation Mario wakaiwanepi? Why can't we ask those questions, and not only ask, but take action about that? Even in parliament, everywhere else, people should be asking those questions. How did this person become the richest person in Zimbabwe? So yes, the companies are closing because instead of money going in the coffers of the country, it's going in the pockets and the bank accounts of certain individuals. So the money is not circulating. The money comes from the economy into people's pockets. Money should be flowing from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe into companies, into programs, infrastructure, resuscitation, infrastructure building. And then when you're building roads, you're creating employment. People are getting paid. When they get paid, they want somewhere to go and buy. Supermarkets come up. When they get paid, they want to buy cars, and then they'll go and buy cars. When more people have money that are wanting to buy cars, what happens? We start having companies that make vehicles coming into Zimbabwe, and others starting their own small ones, because they know that the demand is there, the people have the money. So this simple economic cycle is not happening in Zimbabwe. The money is not cycling. The money is not going back. The money that we get from our diamonds, from our gold, we are one of the richest countries, but that money never comes back into the economy. it should come back and build industries and develop existing ones and fund public works, and people get employed. And that's how a country runs. But we are not running like any normal country. And that's the reason why companies are closing. And that's the reason why we should not even think of, or even tolerate, or even dream that they can be 2030. We need, as citizens, to declare war on 2030, and we need to do it now.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chief. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for your comments and contribution to this platform. And your comments are valued. We'll reflect on that, like I said earlier on. And we appreciate you being with us from the time that we started. And we are going just to look for we're going to discuss this, the last topic. Then we can call it a day for today. But for those one, like I said, can you subscribe to all our channels in all social media platforms? We are there. Just type Change Radio. You will see us as there. Here's the topic, Chief. I think earlier on, I will start by you. You commented on the ATUs, the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union, with their fight across the country. And I'm sure one of the fights that they had was the fight of the color, the curriculum that was put in Zimbabwe. Now they've launched another new curriculum, in Zimbabwe. Not sure what are the significance around that, but we know that Zimbabwe has launched a new curriculum. I don't know what are the benefits, or what are the merits or the demerits are onto that. But what is what your comment, if I can say? I don't want what is your contribution, but what's your comment, because you can't contribute to something like that. Thank you.
I'm a teacher, by profession. I started off as a teacher, taught in Zimbabwe for years, taught in Botswana for 10 years, taught in South Africa, taught here in the USA before I left the teaching profession, the same way Mugabe left it, because it doesn't pay too much. so it's something, teaching and the young children in Zimbabwe, it's something that is dear to my heart, and I still am in the groups for my former colleges, Masvingo Teachers College, others in Botswana, in Zimbabwe. I still communicate with my former students, some whom are doctors now, some are engineers. I keep in touch with the teaching fraternity, and what I can say, DJ Prof, we can change curriculums, we can come up with methodologies and all the other big ways that we can put in our education system. But if we are not organized, and if we are not funding those programs, if the teachers are not well remunerated, if the teachers that are supposed to implement these programs are not getting enough even to take themselves to work, all the money that they are getting is getting into bus fare. They don't even have enough to send their own children to the schools that they are teaching. Then you are fighting a losing battle. It will not work. It won't work. It can't, And you come up with all the good programs, because I know there are good people in the Ministry of Education, the technical people that are there that come up with these programs. They mean well for the country, but there's no political will to implement all these good programs. Then if you do that, then it's not going to help. It won't help. The government is not putting money in education. They are no longer buying books. When we went to school, we used to get textbooks. We need to get writing books. We need to get even ballpoint pens and pencils and everything, and even sometimes get food whilst we are at school. But all those things are not there. We have to, parents have to buy their own textbooks, they have to buy books. And that's the reason why you're seeing there's a proliferation of private schools everywhere. Even in rural areas, we now have private schools where, you know, that just do the little that they can. Yes, they are complementing, but most of them are also selling substandard services to the people of Zimbabwe. But it is because there is a vacuum in the government education system. The government is not funding. They put more money to the army. They put more money to the police force. They give them more benefits, better benefits than teachers, because they want them to go and beat up people when they demonstrate. They want the soldiers to kill people when they tell them to shoot to kill. So they put more money. The budget is bigger for the army, but we are not at war. We're not defending our country. Zimbabwe is not at risk. So it's just naive. It's a government that doesn't have its priorities right. Mugabe, for all his ills, you know, he did well with the education sector. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that was the truth. There was money in education then than the money that is being put in right now. So they can change programs, they can change curriculums, but if they're not funding the education sector, if they're not rewarding the teachers that implement that program and the workers that implement that program, and making sure that the things that are needed, like books for that program, for that curriculum to work, then we're just wasting our time. And we have been wasting our time for the past 10 years. And that's the reason why we need to gather, unite, and fight 2030, so that we bring in a new government that thinks about the education of our children.
Truly, thank you so much, Chief. Tanaka, do you have a comment on that? In your comment, you can have a comment, then you can give viewers and listeners the last parting words from your side.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. I think as a scholar, because I'm a scholar right now, and also a scientist, I don't really agree with the way the so-called Ministry of Education is conducting whatever they might be doing. You know, I am a victim of the so-called Dokora's new curriculum by then.
Yeah.
That was the most stupid thing they could have done, that thing. So I'm not well versed in how these curriculums should be done, but I feel like they are lacking something on that, because one thing they should be doing is stakeholder engagement. When they say stakeholder engagement, after you review the current curriculum that you're using, you have to engage the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The teachers, the kids, the parents, everyone involved in pushing the education system. So those people are the ones who should be engaged first. After you engage those people, you assess. But then don't just come out with an idea that you think this thing might work, and then you want to do try and error to our kids. No. Remember, our parents are suffering to pay the school fees. So imagine a kid is going to school for a try and error. Come on. This is not an experiment. Like, this is not a lab experiment. Even in the lab experiment, we have the stages that you have to do so that you have positive results. Right? So changing a curriculum is not just like changing the bedroom way. No, it's different from that. There are some stages that have to be followed, and those stages should be done making sure that you have enough resources to supplement and to sustain that curriculum change. Where is new curriculum that was introduced by Dokora right now? But they wasted resources on that. And also, during the curriculum change, you should also put in consideration those from marginalized rural areas. Let's talk of this school. It's called Muzika in Tokole. You have to engage those people, because you should not leave everyone behind. Everyone should become on board, and then you engage them. They have their inputs. Once they have their inputs on the table, then you can have something different. So, like what Chief said, you should not just play around the education just like you're playing with your tuck shop and so forth. And you should make sure the country is well vested on that. When you promise free education, the only thing that you could do is to change that curriculum that way that you think might work. So I feel like something has to be done, and right leadership should put in place, so that committees should be set as well, so that this thing, if they really want it to work, they engage everyone from grassroots up to the level. Because you cannot just decide for those in rural areas basing on those in the urban area. No, you can't do that. You have to go on the ground. You see the resources that they have. You see the gaps. Then you support them with that. That way, you're going to uplift our education. So that's my point when it comes to that curriculum. And also on the particular way to the general citizens,
see the gaps.
Support them with that. I think the only way we can deal with this issue that we are facing in Zimbabwe as the citizens
I
is
think
to
there's
unite.
someone opening the. Okay, perfect. Continue. You can continue.
All right. So my last words to the people of Zimbabwe is Zimbabwe belongs to us. No one has the title deeds to own Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe belongs to Zimbabweans, not any ruling elite, not family of ruling elites. Not anyone owns Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe belongs to us. Let's work hard so that we have a better and future Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe that promotes the growth of our own country. Zimbabwe that respects the rule of law. And the only way we can do with that is when as citizens, we come together, we unite, then we fight against these culprits and PF. That's the only way we do that. And at the end, let's not forget to support Change Radio, listen Change Radio, let's see that news so that everyone will get true and authentic news. That the only way to remove ZANU-PF is to unite. And once we unite, we put our own leader, who is Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Thank you very much, the people of Zimbabwe. I thank you.
Thank you. Chief, the parting words, sir?
Well, same as I've said before, let's come together as Zimbabweans. This is an opportunity. Let's not take 2030 as something against us. Yes, it is against us, but in all intents and purposes, 2030 to me is an opportunity for us to remove ZANU-PF. And if people see the way things I see them, which is always very difficult, we should by now be coming up with a broad-based platform that takes all the stakeholders, students, civic society, genuine political leaders, the people of Zimbabwe, the diaspora, and everyone who is part and parcel of Zimbabwe, including the vendors. We have associations everywhere. We have combis. They have their associations. We should be reaching out to all of them because I know I can tell you that all of them do not want that. And on the downside, ZANU-PF itself is reaching out to all those people. And us, we are not reaching out. We are not talking to those relevant authorities. We're not talking to those relevant stakeholders. We need to start doing that now. Let's stop fighting each other. Let's stop investing energy into fighting fellow activists. If you want to do it, I mean, you can do it. But yes, we can rebuke. But let's not invest everything into that. Let's invest more in fighting ZANU-PF, not their prodigies. ZANU-PF is the big one. We should go for the big one. We can win the war against the Shabangu. We can win the war against the Welsh Mengue You can win the war against all these other people. But if eventually we don't win the war against ZANU-PF, then we are wasting our time. We have not done anything, and we'll go down as that group of people that you know just stayed there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years under slavery, and we did not do anything about us, about ourselves. At the end of the day, Mbuyane Handa and Sekuru Kagui will be heralded as better than us because those ones stood up. Yes, they could have been killed, and eventually they were killed. And they knew that they were going to be killed or they could be killed. But they decided to say, we can't go this far. Even though we are putting our lives at risk, we have to do this. Zimbabweans are not prepared to do that. We're not prepared to risk our limbs. We're not prepared to risk our lives. But that has to change. And now we have been given an opportunity which should not only take us to the streets, but where we can also use other forms of resistance. There are lots and lots ways that we can resist 2030. We just need to gather and talk about those ways of resistance. And that's what we want to see in the spaces that are everywhere. Let's talk about those ideas. Let's share those ideas and let's implement them, because a lot of good ideas are shared in our spaces, but very few are implemented. And I sincerely believe that if we implement them together, we will win. We will win this 2030. And when we win 2030, we would have positioned ourselves to a position where we can completely get rid of ZANU-PF. Thank you, DJ Prof.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chief. I would want to, on behalf of Change Radio, I would want to thank, our panelists, Chief Mkanya Mambosose and Tanaka. Welcome, Tanaka. And this is our platform. Every Sunday we'll be here. And thank you for the listeners, the viewers who were in different platforms that you were listening to Change Radio. And thank you again for those ones who give us your insights and your comment. I can see a number of comments there. Thank you so much. We'll try to reflect. Today, I don't have the time to read all the comments and the contributions, but I promise with the time next week we'll try to manage our time so that those ones who cannot see the comments from Facebook can hear also those ones who cannot see the comments from our YouTube channels or in our TikTok channels can be able to see all those comments. But we love you as Change Radio. We love you all as citizens. Don't forget, guys, to fund, to click the link in all platforms in the comment section, or to support our colleague who is not feeling well, and I think he need medication. So don't forget to to bring your contribution to that. Like I said earlier on behalf of Change Radio and all people behind the scene, on vari kubata mushini kuseri kuti zvese zvamuri kunzwa panapa zvibude, muri kungoona ndiri kungogwauta ndiri panapa, pane vari kuita kuti zvibude. We thank them as well, and it's bye bye for now. Thank you.
Kapinde mkomana, kapinde chamisa.